Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. You know, when you think about Indian sports, your brain probably goes straight to cricket, right? And honestly, for a really long time, you would have been at 100% spot on. Cricket has historically dominated the landscape. But right now, we're actually witnessing a massive, totally unprecedented transformation. We're shifting from a single sport nation into this rapidly expanding multi-sport ecosystem. So today, we're going to explore the engines driving this change, the athletes feeling it, and the brand new careers being born out of it. But here's the massive question we really need to answer right off the bat. Is this sudden sports revolution actually sustainable? I mean, decades ago, playing domestic sports was basically a way to land a secure public sector or government job. It was all about long-term stability. But today, man, it's a total commercial gold rush. We're seeing professional, salaried athletes, billionaire owners, celebrity investors, the whole shebang. But we have to ask, is this dramatic shift built to last? Or is it just a bubble waiting to burst? To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this boom, just think about this staggering jump. Back in 2008, India had exactly one sports franchise league. One. But fast forward to projections for 2026, and the country is looking at over 15 distinct leagues. We're talking football, kabaddi, volleyball, tennis, and even super niche sports like pickleball and paddle. It's an absolute explosion, and it really sets the perfect stage for our ecosystem analysis today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First up, the grassroots paths for amateur athletes. Second, surviving the franchise model. Third, the infrastructure and bureaucracy hurdles. And finally, careers beyond competitive sports. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, Paths for Amateur Athletes. Because before you can have these glittering billionaire-backed leagues, well, you need players. And today, government support is absolutely the essential bedrock for young amateurs looking to turn pro. We're basically seeing a super clear, structured pipeline that takes an amateur from the absolute ground level all the way to the global stage. It kicks off with Step 1, KLO India. This is a total game changer, providing essential grassroots funding, school-level scholarships, and the basic infrastructure to nurture raw talent from day one. Once they're identified, these athletes move to Step 2, the Sports Authority of India, or SAI, which focuses heavily on specialized high-performance training. Finally, the elite tier reaches Step 3, TOPS, the Target Olympic Podium Scheme. That provides laser-focused financial and coaching support to push India's absolute best onto the global Olympic stage.
And the big picture goal here is pretty profound. It's not just about winning medals. It's about building a sustainable and self-sufficient sports industry. The government isn't just trying to, fill up a trophy cabinet. They're systematically trying to create an ecosystem where sports commercialization and public sector partnerships actually build a self-sustaining economy.
Moving on to Section 2, Surviving the Franchise Model. So the government is building up the athletes, but private investors and broadcasters are the ones building the leagues. Let's break down the actual business models driving this whole new era. There's a fundamental difference in how sports leagues actually operate globally. On one hand, you've got open leagues. Think of this as the European style, like the English Premier League or India's older I-League in football, where teams get promoted or relegated based strictly on how well they perform. On the other hand, you have closed leagues. This is the American franchise style, like the NBA or the NFL. There's zero relegation, and crucially, there's a central pool of broadcast revenue that gets shared equally among the owners. Back in 2008, the IPL perfectly replicated this American closed model, and because it generated such massive central broadcasting rights, every single franchise became profitable. The IPL made profitability look deceptively easy, which kind of prompted every other sport to try and copy it. But here is a pretty wild reality check. Despite this massive boom with over 15 leagues popping up everywhere, take a guess at how many non-cricket leagues have actually been commercially profitable for 5 consecutive years. Just one. Literally a single league. And that's the Pro Kabaddi League. Almost every other league is either too new, severely struggling, or surviving entirely on a broadcaster's whim. Now, what's really interesting here is why Pro Kabaddi managed to survive when so many others failed. It all comes down to the economics. Take an IPL team like the Mumbai Indians. They were paying an average franchise fee of roughly 40 crores a year for 10 years. They could only afford that because of the massive central broadcast pool guaranteed by the cricket board. Now, contrast that with Pro Kabaddi. The team owners were solid, wealthy corporates, sure, but the franchise fee was kept incredibly low, just 1.5 crores a year. Combine that low operating cost with a dedicated central broadcaster like Star Sports paying a fixed fee into the central pool, and suddenly you've got a financially sustainable model for a non-cricket sport. And if you want proof that this closed franchise model isn't just some magic silver bullet, look at the evolution of Indian football. They started out with the National Football League, evolved into the open model I-League, and then, completely chasing that IPL dream, they launched the ISL, a closed franchise model backed by major broadcasters. Well, they tried that franchise model for 10 years, and now? They're actually transitioning back to an open model with promotion and relegation. It perfectly illustrates that there's absolutely no one-size-fits-all solution when we're evaluating the long-term sustainability of niche sports. So why is it so incredibly hard to just copy cricket? That brings us to Section 3, infrastructure and bureaucracy hurdles, because these niche sports face massive, often totally hidden obstacles. The absolute most crucial point here is infrastructure. See, the BCCI is this independent giant that effectively owns stadiums through its state associations. So an IPL franchise essentially walks into a ready-made, year-round maintained facility. But non-cricket sports? Totally different story. Franchises in basketball, football, or kabaddi actually have to rent out stadiums just for their short seasons. They don't control the year-round maintenance, which means they're burning huge amounts of cash just to secure and upkeep basic facilities for a 2-month tournament. It is a massive hidden drain on their profitability. And then, oh boy, there's the bureaucracy. Unlike cricket, which has a singular, undisputed BCCI, a lot of non-cricket sports are plagued by multiple federations, all claiming to be the official one. This kind of bureaucratic friction leads to messy legal battles over league rights. We've seen it play out heavily in both hockey and volleyball. When rival federations are fighting in court, it completely scares away long-term corporate investments, and it risks dividing the top players between rival leagues. Without a unified governing body, a league simply can't guarantee the best talent or secure broadcasters' trust. Which brings us to Section 4, careers beyond competitive sports. Because this expanding ecosystem isn't just about the athletes anymore, it's empowering a whole new generation with massive off-field opportunities. All this crazy commercialization means you no longer need to be an elite gold medal athlete to actually work in sports. The explosion of these 15-plus leagues has created thousands, literally thousands, of salaried professional jobs. We're talking diverse roles in sports event management, social media and PR, marketing and branding, athlete and team logistics, and sports analytics. Every single franchise out there needs a massive back office team just to survive, creating an entirely new industrial sector that's completely right for youth employment. And this brilliantly illustrates how the education sector is stepping up to the plate. We're now seeing highly structured educational pathways popping up specifically to feed this new industry. You can grab an undergrad degree like a BBA in sports management or a Bachelor of Physical Education and follow it straight up with an MBA. Top institutions like LNIPE, ISM, and DY Patil are now directly linking these degrees to concrete careers like event managers, PR directors, and sports marketers. You can literally get a specialized degree today that prepares you directly for the business side of the sports boom. And what's genuinely awesome is how accessible this is becoming. On one side, you've got prestigious government-backed institutions like LNIPE in Gwalior. It's highly affordable. We're talking maybe 25 to 40,000 rupees a year, and you still get access to Olympic standard facilities. But then on the flip side, you have premium private institutes like ISM in Mumbai. Now, they charge up to 11 lakhs for a degree, but they offer a heavy corporate focus and boast 100% placement guarantees. So whether you need an affordable government-backed route or you're looking for a premium private pathway, the academic infrastructure is totally there to get you into the industry. So we circle right back to our core theme. India's sports landscape has fundamentally forever changed. The government is building the athletes, massive corporates are building the leagues, and universities are building the professionals. So the big question is, athlete, manager, or marketer, where do you fit in? This multi-sport ecosystem is absolutely exploding, and honestly, there's never been a better time to find your place within it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I hope this deep dive gave you a really solid, structured understanding of the forces shaping the future of Indian sports. Until next time, keep learning.